The real history of Bram Stoker's Dracula is way more scary than you could ever imagine, because it was real. The person who would become Dracula was born Vlad III in Wallachia, present-day southern Romania, in 1428. Vlad would later adopt the name Dracula after his father, Vlad Dracul II. The name Dracul meant of the Order of the Dragon, a league of Christian princes dedicated to stopping Muslim invasions. Wallachia was at the time a province of the Ottoman Empire, and the Ottoman Sultan demanded Vlad's father pay him tribute. Vlad paid by sending his two sons Dracula and Radu to be the tribute to the Sultan. This would scar Vlad for life, as even his own father was not loyal to him. Vlad hated living in the Sultan's palace, but his brother Radu grew lazy and accustomed to Ottoman culture. This would be another scar in young Dracula's mind. Yet the biggest scar on Dracula's mind would be witnessing a public execution by impalement. This meant shoving a spear up a person's, and then it would come out of the other end and the person would be hoisted up until they died. Vlad saw how this struck fear into the people witnessing the execution, and how they would remain loyal to the Sultan out of fear. Eventually the Sultan would place Vlad as his puppet ruler of Wallachia, but 3 years later Vlad would turn against the Sultan. But the Sultan was only the first of Vlad's troubles. Vlad also had to contend with the nobles of Wallachia, who constantly fought amongst themselves and never remained loyal. Vlad had invited them all to a feast in his castle. There he asked them, "How many rulers have you seen in your lifetime?" Many said around 10. This told Vlad everything he needed to know. Then, when the nobles least expected it, Vlad impaled all of them and publicly displayed them. Then Vlad gathered a new set of nobles loyal only to him. Vlad would continue his bloodthirsty reign, putting out expensive cups in towns to see if any peasants would take it. Nobody did, knowing what had happened to the nobles. Then the Sultan Mehmed II came back after finding out Vlad did not pay him his tax in 1459. The Sultan sent his troops to defeat Vlad, but he was now allied with his previous enemy, the Hungarians, after basically saying, "Hey, I'm bad, but at least I'm not a Muslim." Together they managed to defeat the first wave of Turks. Vlad got to work making sure he would win the next battle as well. When the Turks arrived again in Wallachia, they were greeted by their comrades' impaled bodies flailing on sticks. Many Turks freaked out and retreated, but it was Vlad's brother Radu who persevered on, but he was repulsed. Eventually, it would not be a foreign army that would kill Vlad, but his own nobles, as they were so terrified of him, they knew they had to get rid of him. Thank you guys for watching this Halloween special. Stay spooky, and subscribe.